Hello and welcome to the Retro Scripts Fireside Stories Human Libraries. Today I'm enjoying a lemon and peach tea, which is delicious. And my guest today is May Rodriguez. May enjoys a cafe cubano, which I don't know anything about, but I'm going to make her tell me a little bit about what it is because it sounds delicious. And she actually has two favorite quotes. The first being, "Another sunrise, another new beginning." And the other, "Once you become fearless, life becomes limitless." Love it. Both are up my avenue. I'm excited to hear more about that. But let me tell you a little bit about May before we get started. So May is an enthusiast who loves to learn new things and thrives best when she's helping others rise and become their best self. She is passionate about helping others heal naturally, and she's actually healing naturally in the process of helping others, which is pretty cool. Today, she'll be talking to us about rising and wellness, the approach of understanding the relationship between energy, stress, nutrition, and a person's health status. Her purpose is to help others rise in a new paradigm shift, that will align the mind, body, and spirit as one. So before we dive into your story, May, about how you got into all this and what it is that you do, why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself and then you can share.
Absolutely. So, this is great. And Cafe Cubano is really just like, Cuban coffee with a little bit of water, sort of like a French press, sort of. And then you add, your little bit of sugar and your almond milk or your regular milk. And, you're good to go.
It's
a great drink. You gotta try it one day. So how I got into this business really. I was working as a manager at one of the sleep clinics, actually a few, and I decided that I wasn't really like seeing too many results in people, and I just seen a lot of unhappy, just people and no results, and a hamster wheel that I thought, what, this is strange, how it just goes from like sitting in front of a doctor and just not having any solutions at all, right? And the frustration in people really, really got to me. And I was day in, day out. And then so one day I stepped back or out of there on mat leave. And obviously then all this stuff happened, where when we couldn't go back to work. And I just decided to move on and do nutrition. So I went to school, put myself through school through IAN and did nutrition. And then I had already like little bits and pieces of other things. So I'm very involved with hair mineral analysis, which is a test that really tests for minerals and different deficiencies in the body. And it's the only way that I actually believe to supplement anyone who wants to be supplemented the right way. And so, now I'm sitting here on this venture and, really happy to help people heal. And I've had a lot of success. Mm-hmm. And I just want to keep helping people and meeting people and also heal through them, because I find like a lot of this work also helps me in the process.
Definitely. So tell me, what first got you into nutrition and like the holistic way of healing? Was there like a spark or something that happened, or did you just become interested?
Yeah, what's interesting is that a couple of years back, I went to Mexico, and I had this lady actually talk to me about my future, and she just seen me and she said to me, but at the time I was a little bit scared of all this stuff, because it's like, how does anybody really know, right? Yeah. And she said to me, I see you venturing into like a complete different world of nutrition and helping others. And she said, I feel like you have it in you. So when she said that, I was like, okay, I don't know what this lady's talking about. I was a little bit like disconnected from it. But year after year went on and I started to really get connected to her words. And so one day I was like, oh my God, that's what I need to do.
It's like she gave you that little push. Like,
yeah, she did. And it was just the way she said it. And it was a very brief, like 5 minutes that I had with her. But in those 5 minutes, I could tell she was very genuine. She didn't tell me anything else other than where my future was headed in career-wise, which was amazing.
That's awesome. Open doors for you, doors in your mind to let you go through.
That's right.
That's really cool. So with your story and where you're going, you said you're healing in the process of healing other people, which I personally find is the best thing. I love hearing that about people.
Mhm.
I like working with people who are, when they're helping me, they've gone through something themselves or they're
Mhm.
working through
Mhm.
it. 'Cause then you know what I'm feeling, you know what
Mhm.
clients are feeling. Do you
Mhm.
find that's beneficial for you?
It is because, I think that we all sort of, walk a journey, and, it's all different for everybody, but we all have our things that we've been through, and that we either have moved on but haven't healed properly, or you know what I mean, or we just kind of put it in the back burner, but then it really does affect our health, right? And so by talking to someone who makes it easier for you, and also and just processing like your life a little bit deeper, you start to realize that we all have it, like, it's normal and it's easy and we can talk about it and it's not a big deal. There's a space for it.
Definitely. It's
Mhm.
interesting to me because growing up, I always thought that doctors or naturopaths or psychiatrists or whoever, they're
Yeah.
perfect. They like
Yeah.
have everything. But now as an adult,
No.
as I talk, they don't. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's such an eye opener that
Mhm.
I'm not broken. Everybody's
Mhm.
working towards something. So it's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Do you
Yeah,
find
everyone is.
that's neat? Do you find with your clients it's more women or more men?
You know what? It's actually a combination of both.
Okay.
Yes, it really is. If I have to say which one is more than the other, I can't say. It's harder for men to open up. That's 100% true. It's harder for them, but through goals and ambitions and what drives them, and women too, I think they're able to start processing their things a little better.
Mhm.
And it's also about you and how comfortable they feel about you or with you, sorry.
Definitely. Definitely. That makes
Mhm.
sense. I know when we've spoken in the past, you're all about balance, work
Yeah.
life balance, and balance can mean so many different things to so many different
Mhm.
people. But I would
Mhm.
love for you to tell us a little bit about the balance in your life. I will look at your Instagram page all the time, and I love the shots of your family, of you hiking, but then there's working. What does balance mean to you?
Well, you know what? There's just like a little bit of everything. How can I say, the right time for the right thing, um, as you go, right? So basically, like, my mornings, when I wake up, and I'll just go through with you my routine every single day and on the weekends. When I wake up, I make time for myself. So I literally have to have my 2 hours to do my meditation, do my breathing exercise, and have to work out. That is my morning regime, and my tea or coffee or water with lemon, whatever it is, the day that I want to do that, right? So that is how I start my day, for the most part. Then I get the kids ready for, their things. So I spend a little bit of time with them because it is important to spend time with your kids as well. Make them feel, acknowledged and listened to.
Yeah.
So that is, my everyday. And then I start my work day, which, consists of like content development, and then, talking to clients, my sessions, I go drop off my kids at camp, and then I come home and, start my day basically. And then I pick up the kids, and then it's dinner time, and then I spend time with them reading their books that they like to read, after dinner. And we tidy up a little bit, and then, we go to bed. And then I read with my other half, which, is also very essential, right? To make time for him as well.
Yeah.
And so we read, whatever books we want. So I read to him usually, or he reads to me, and this is an everyday thing. On the weekends, we love to hike, you know, and this is where, I hold the space for my family, because my weekends are really just about them. And we cook and we do all these activities, visit with the grandparents. But it's a fun stuff, right? And then that way everybody gets a little piece of me.
I like it. I like that. And I love that you put yourself first. At the beginning of the day, you start
Mhm.
you because, as you said, you're giving pieces of yourself to everybody along the way. So you have to stay full. I love your
That's
idea of
right.
balance. I like that a lot. And I also
Yes, thank you.
I love how you've modeled your life to be what you think it should look like, not necessarily
Mhm,
what
mhm,
people say. Because I hear a lot, you should do this as
mhm.
a business owner, da 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 da. But you figured out what works for you and run with it. So that's pretty interesting.
That's right. Yeah,
Did you
it's
find that?
taken me a while. Let me tell you, it takes a while to get it like down packed, but through consistency, you can gain that,
That was going to be my next question. When you were working
Mhm.
towards that, was there hurdles or was it just smooth sailing? But like you said, it takes.
Well, yeah, exactly. It takes consistency, but yes, hurdles. I mean, like for all of us, right? It's especially with all the changes being thrown at us, with the last year and a half have been pretty hectic for a lot of families. But if you just pick your routine and you stay true to yourself,
Mhm.
and you keep that persistence, sorry, and consistency, I think you're bound to be successful at some point.
Definitely. Have you noticed a big shift in people? Like with COVID happening, I feel like people are
Oh,
opening their
yeah.
minds to different kinds of health and how to keep themselves healthy.
Absolutely. There's just a lot more awareness out there, and also a lot of confusion because we are bombarded with, so much on the internet. So, but that's why there's people like me, and it's also about finding, the right person to work with. So it's nice to have a variety and so many people to choose from.
Mhm.
But yes, I find that now because there's more access to so many other things that people are more open to it.
Definitely. I like that.
Mhm.
So you talked about information and so many different avenues that people can take. One thing that you've spoken about in the past that I find fascinating is the hair analysis. I had
Mhm.
heard of it in the past, but as you explained it, it's just, I don't know, magical in my mind. Can you explain a little bit about what it is and how it works?
So basically, the hair mineral analysis, and I have it down as a program now. So it allows me to really just look at a person a little bit more than just saying, okay, try this and try that. Like it gives me a better idea of what I'm working with, in terms of how their body is uh, basically it takes me back 10 years, right?
Wow.
Although I like to only focus as far back as 5 years. So it allows me just to see, the activity level for 5 years, how their calcium intake is, their iron levels, and basically heavy metals. Also, other like copper, other sorry minerals like copper and zinc. But the four main things that I do really focus in on is energy, thyroid, um, sleep. Sleep is a big one for me, and I can also figure out a little bit sleep patterns through the hair mineral analysis, and adrenals. Right. So those four things I'm really like looking at in a hair mineral analysis, and it just gives me an idea of what the person really needs, going forward. And then really it's just about aligning like their mind, body, and environment, right? And coming together and putting that together as one, making sure that it's all balanced out. So in essence, it does take about 6 months to a year for a person to balance out their minerals. But you feel amazing at the end of 6 months and at the end of a year.
Makes total sense why it would take that long. I mean, it takes time to get out of whack, so to get back in and get the shift, it makes total sense. That's
Mhm.
interesting. I've never done the hair analysis, but I've done other things similar, and I can attest that at the end, when you've actually put in the work, you feel
Yeah.
amazing. It's a game
Yeah.
changer. So that's
Yeah, it really is. You just have to be really ready for it, right? And if you are, chances are, if you're very open to change, but good change, right? Because at the end of it, who doesn't want to feel energetic, right? And who doesn't want to spend more time and have a clear mind as opposed to foggy brain, right? Um, and this is really the stepping stone for that, right? Like it really helps people dive a little deeper
very cool. So for
into
people,
themselves.
yeah, and I feel like that diving into yourself and figuring out what you need and who you are, it's so important.
Mhm.
So for
Mhm.
listeners or watchers that are looking at us right now, is there something you could tell them that they could work towards, something small? Because I know a lot of people look at this, the big picture, get overwhelmed. It's
Yeah.
easier to go with small chunks.
The biggest thing that I can say actually to anyone is really listen to yourself, because the majority of time, like basically the majority of time, the answers are in here.
Mhm.
And sometimes we just doubt and we doubt and we're too much in our heads and we keep doubting, right? But that's why it is good to work with someone else, because the other person can really bring you back to your own answers. It's really about you. It's about your own answers. You have them. You have your intuition. It's just about tapping into that intuition a little more and how to do it, right? And that's really where I come in and I help clients do that.
So essentially, you're like their mirror. You're showing them what's already there. It's just,
Yeah,
I love it.
exactly.
That's amazing. I
Mhm.
have noticed something that was interesting to me during this pandemic is the amount of people that were flooding outdoors. Like everything
Mhm.
was shut down and people were going into nature. And the
Mhm.
responses I heard, people were amazed
Mhm.
at the feeling. I
Yep.
know that when I walk through the forest, I'm almost like bathing and everything. Are you
Yeah.
similar? And is there a benefit from that?
Absolutely. So it's very meditative. So there's, different kinds of meditation. And I think that this is one of them. I think that, taking time to yourself and really, if you're going to go out there by yourself, although I do both. I do sometimes with my family, sometimes I go by myself. But if you want to take time to yourself and walk a trail or walk through the forest, it honestly is very meditative. It helps you um, bring your thoughts together, and your worries basically kind of just leave you, because there's so many things to focus on, right? And the beauty of life, and where everything and how everything is created is just beyond me and beyond anybody, really. So when you're out there, you start to realize what really matters, and the things that really matters is the closest things to us, right? And this is sort of like nature. I mean, you just go and get lost in it.
Exactly. And it almost brings you back, like you said, into yourself as well,
Mhm.
because when you're
Mhm.
out there by yourself with the trees and the animals, you become introspective, I think. And
Mhm. Mhm.
interesting.
Yeah, and there's also like a sense of serenity, right? And calmness. And so when you're going through the forest, that's meditation, that's breathing. Like, so for those people that can meditate and can breathe, the answer is the forest. You're doing it without thinking about it.
Yeah. I read, oh, it was years ago, but I read an article about a woman who had asthma and like just couldn't regulate her breathing, couldn't catch her breath. And she discovered by going through the forest and kind of watching the trees move, it was affecting her breathing and it was opening her up. And I don't know,
Mhm.
there's obviously something there beyond what I can understand, but I think
Yeah,
that's
it's an electromagnetic field that we're connected to, right? So when we're out there, we're just really grounding ourselves with, earth. And we all need to do that. It's just it's sad that no one's ever really talked in depth about this, right? To the majority of us, right? Like especially the city people, they're the ones that need to get out of the city a little more and really venture into nature, and really get that sense, get that energy feeling.
definitely. I feel like this is stuff that for me, I'm teaching my daughter all of this because I wish I
Mhm.
had known
Mhm.
from that age
Mhm.
to grow up with it. And it's
Yeah.
almost, it's a part of health and nutrition and like healthy way of being that we don't
Mhm.
teach our kids necessary, but it's
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
important and it's almost being lost. But it's interesting that people like you are bringing it back and kind of
Mhm.
reintroducing it into our lives.
That's right. Yes, you know what, and it's just very rewarding, right? I know a lot of people that heal just by walking in the forest, and they don't need any other therapy. Like literally, it's a true story,
That's
and
interesting.
it's amazing to hear, how someone can really benefit from these things, like the energetic field from the earth.
Yeah.
Really, like, and the more we connect to it, the more we're appreciative of it, and the more calm we are, and the less anxiety and depression we feel.
Exactly. Do you notice a change in your children?
I do. Their ventures, I mean, my daughter didn't always like it in the beginning, but now they look forward to it, because they're always exploring. It's a sense of exploration, and they're exploring themselves, and they find snails and leaves, and mommy, why is that tree have the roots outside of the tree? I mean, I don't always have the answers,
Yep.
but I try.
And it
But
opens it up.
it's
Yeah.
nice. That's
Well,
right. It's nice because it opens them up, and they're able to communicate better.
yes, definitely.
Hmm. Hmm.
Interesting. So now, as we're moving towards the reopening of the world, I guess we could say, I know there's a lot of apprehension and there's a lot of people that are nervous. I'm not speaking to their health, how to protect yourself, but what can people do to limit that stress and just
Mhm.
focus on where they're still going on their own path? Is there anything that you could tell us?
I could say, you know what, with all my heart, and with like lots of certainty, do more of what you love.
Mhm. That's good.
That's the answer. Do more of what you love. I feel like if you can just really zone in on the things that you really like to do and that you love, whether that's reading or working out or cooking or, maybe it's, I don't know, diving, swimming, canoeing, whatever it is, do more of that, because that's what's going to bring you back to who you are as a person. And all these things around us that are happening are just last minute in our heads.
Yeah. Push it all out. I like that.
Mm. Yeah.
Interesting. So there was something up that you said as well about your passion. You obviously do what you love right now.
Mhm.
Where do you see this passion going? I know you have your business and all of that, but is there a goal in mind that you're reaching towards?
Yeah. So, at the end of the day, when I close my eyes, I see myself just really having an amazing practice full of people that I can help. Where it's taking me, well, the end goal is to, and I can say this like, because, I have so much belief in it, is to have a retreat center one day in Central America where I can help thousands of people come down
Yeah.
and feel grounded and just feel that sense of, you know, being away, but healing.
Yeah. Sign me up for that, first of all, when you do open.
That is my ultimate goal.
I could see you actually getting there. Why South
Mhm.
America?
Well, Central America, because I'm from there
Okay.
and I'm connected to it, but also there's so many people that travel, and I just was not aware of how many thousands of people travel to Central America, and they're looking for relaxation all the time. So why not come down and, do a retreat and heal?
Yeah, definitely.
Such an amazing, rewarding thing for everybody, and people do it, and they're looking for that kind of thing. And I would love to, for a reasonable price, make that happen for people more often.
I love that. It's
Mhm,
interesting you say that people flock there. I have a friend who actually worked there, didn't go
mhm,
for the relaxation or anything,
mhm,
but he
mhm.
said that what he got out of being there and the slower pace of life and the different way that we focus on things very differently than what we focus on, he came back a
Yeah.
different person, like a more
Yeah.
relaxed, grounded person. So I thought that was
Mhm.
pretty magical.
Yeah, but there's something about, being close or being in warmer weather and near the beach, or, close to the beach or whatever, but just in warmer weather every single day, and just waking up to, even the roosters.
Yeah,
That's like amazing.
I love it.
There's something about that. And, in Canada, even though it's an amazing country as well, we don't get enough of that. And our winters are too long. So it kind of enables us from that life, but it's all in us, every single one of us. We just need to do it more.
Definitely. I agree. I love that. Did you have anything else you'd love to share with your listeners? Any tips or any piece of information that we don't know about you yet? I know a lot about you, so you're a great person. I love your personality. I think what makes you magical in what you do is that you actually come from your heart. And I know a lot of people, but you genuinely care about the well-being of other people out there.
Mhm. Well, see, in my line of work now, one thing that I do really want to emphasize and focus on is basically just attracting the right people, and having and help people really feel amazing, and really find the answers, because a lot of us are just walking around conflicted, too much reading on the internet, and a lot of confusion. And I just want to I want to help people be more in touch with who they are as people, and figure out their answers, and really just putting two and two together and living a life that they love.
Amazing. Amazing. So for anybody that wants to talk to May, connect with her, May, you have a blog, that's correct, right?
I do. I'm actually, what, with social media, I'm not doing so good these days. I'm trying to keep up with it,
It's
but but I'm going to be doing a little bit more as soon as the summer opens up a little bit more for me. But yeah, my idea is to blog a little bit more. But my website is Rice and Wellness. Um, and you'll find my blog in there. So, mid-August, I've got some stuff that I'm going to be working on. I also have a couple of workshops coming up that I would love to send out invitations for them. And I will be doing like an email, like send me your email type of thing on my Instagram, so that I can send out the information for my workshops, which will be coming up in September. And then a series of 4, I think, till December, and then we're launching a really big one in January.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yay. So for anybody
Lots of
listening
plans.
or watching who wants to sign up for these, or in the future potentially go to May's retreat, please sign up on our website. All the information is in the comments section below here. But May, thank you for coming on my show today and sharing all of this information. I'm really excited for everybody who goes to your page to start their journey and start their wellness and really rise, because that's exactly what it is. So
yeah, we all need to rise in wellness. We just need a little push.
Exactly. Thank you for being here. Have a great day.
Thank you, Kim. That's amazing.
Bye.